right. We're going to stay on that social media train, and this time we actually will stay on a train. Oh, that joke. Boom. Our next presenter is Sydney Belden. Sydney is a double major in environmental studies and classical vocal performance, who's been on the Dean's List for 2023 and 2024. I always learn something new about people. She's graduating here relatively soon. Sydney is a young artist with the Tacoma Opera, and she spent this past summer singing in Austria and Germany, where she points out they have fantastic subway systems. She'll actually be performing in the Earth Symphony on May 31st at 7:30 in Union Hall, and tickets are available, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And as a special treat, she's going to sing her presentation. No, I'm just kidding. The title of Sydney's presentation is Transportation Transformation: How Seattle Wants the Link Light Rail to be Fixed and Why. Her host organization was Seattle Subway Foundation, where her site supervisor was Carl Pauls, and her faculty advisor was Lubna Alzaru of the Program on the Environment. Let's welcome Sydney.
Hi. All right. Show of hands. How many of you have felt like this, waiting for the link to arrive or waiting for the new lines to open up? Yeah. Or maybe like this, witnessing some really questionable people or activities on the link. Or what about like this, out on the town?
What do you mean?
Oh, no sound.
What do you mean?
It's the Jennifer Lawrence thing going like, what do you mean? Anyways, so it is not a new breakthrough that public transit systems around the world are great for the environment. In 2022, 194,000 tons of carbon emissions were avoided in Seattle from public transit usage. While public transit is an incredibly beneficial asset, sound transit is a highly flawed system, resulting in low ridership numbers and keeping Seattle from reaching its highest potential of sustainability. Seattleites are still predominantly choosing to take their cars, and the Puget Sound is very much still without access to reliable transit. I realize that this is a critical issue if this public good is not being used where it is significantly benefiting both the environment and Seattle's residents. This fueled my research to answer the question of what the public perceptions are around Seattle's transit system that affect ridership and therefore the city's accessibility and sustainability goals. And I was also curious as to what the key needs that people expressed were when it came to transit and how we can solve them. In winter quarter, I completed an internship with the Seattle Subway Foundation as their social media intern. The Seattle Subway Foundation is a nonprofit that advocates for the expansion of the Link Light Rail and acts as a voice for the people on what they want changed in sound transit. My internship responsibilities were to research current issues or common problems and create fun, engaging, and educational social media posts like the one that you saw earlier. The content I made helped them see a 120% increase in following and a combined 1.1 million views. To answer my research questions, I created a survey and sent it out via Seattle Subway's emailing list, made it into Facebook and Instagram posts, and also made it into an advertisement, which ended up receiving a 434-person response. In terms of general usage, I found that mostly people use the link to travel for leisurely activities, but the number of people using it for work commutes was a lot lower than I expected. Some of the 5 of the biggest things that I saw in my research was the need for more stations, closer stations, and higher coverage. After analyzing everything, many people have expressed that they would take the light rail if only it were closer to where they lived or worked. And there was also lots of strong feelings about picking up the pace on building lines that were projected to have more coverage in the future. There were also a lot of conflicting results regarding safety. 39% of respondents said that they had never experienced a safety concern while using the link, and 54% said that they had felt uncomfortable, but never actually in direct danger. Some interviewees even expressed that they were impressed with the security that they had seen. However, there were also responses saying that people felt that they were in lots and lots of danger, such as feeling concerned for their own health and hygiene from witnessing public urination and drug usage, being robbed, and even physically and verbally assaulted. Most popular stations, especially the northernmost ones such as Cap Hill and U District, close around 1 a.m. and don't open back up until 5 a.m. This is highly inconvenient for anybody that is wanting to be out on the town until bar closing time or needing to get to or from work or the airport really early or really late. Looking at the bar graph, most people also said that they think that the link doesn't nearly come frequent enough. The link typically comes every 8 to 13 minutes, but most of the time people are stuck waiting like 15 to 20 minutes. In terms of reliability, train and station maintenance lack long-term fixes of technical issues, such as fixing elevators and escalators that pose accessibility issues. There's also a need for reliable shadow buses for closed stations or better bus connectivity for those who get stranded at night. Hypothetically, if these things were all fixed, then it would create a win-win-win situation. People would experience low transportation costs and traffic, as well as better accessibility to other areas of the Puget Sound. Sound Transit would experience higher ridership numbers from better functionality and therefore increased revenue. And Seattle as a whole would experience lower carbon footprint and lower emissions. More people riding transit would mean less cars on the road and therefore less carbon dioxide going into the atmosphere. However, while people can speak up their concerns directly to Sound Transit, the real way that change will happen is if Sound Transit actually listens to these people and provides them with what they need. Which is why, in order to amplify these voices, Seattle needs an organization like the Seattle Subway Foundation to amplify them. I'd like to thank Mallory McCollum for letting me stay at her house to work on this so many times, my boyfriend, my best friend, and my family for supporting both of my passions in the environment and music, and my friends at the UW School of Music, my POE friends, and the faculty, site, and capstone supervisors that have helped me along the way. Pizza und Bier. Can I answer any questions?
Questions for Sydney?
Yeah. Yeah, so thank you so much. That's a really good question. She asked how I approached the analysis for all of the responses that I had. It was honestly really difficult to do so because I had so many questions on my survey, and then there were so many people answering my survey, and then there were like short answers and long answers of like people saying what they like exactly how they felt. So it just took a lot of time and a lot of reading. And I really wish that I was able to send it to an actual data analyst that could give me further insight on all of the diverse responses I have and different comparisons. Yeah. Ooh. So that's a really good question. He asked what responses were said that it was the closest, like who was the closest response that said this is actually too far away? Yeah. So I did have a pie chart that I was going to put up there, but I had to cut for time that that specified walking distance, and some people said, oh, it's like a 25-minute walk, and some people were able to make that walk 20 minutes, 25 minutes, something like that, and some people said that it's not at all close. So maybe that'll answer your question. It really depends on the person because 20 minutes for some could be really close and some could be really far. Yeah.
One more.
Yes, Oliver.
Two-part question. First part was, were there any responses in your surveys that referred to the price of fare? And the second part is, do you think in your time with the subway system that this is the fare for a ride or part?
Okay, so Oliver's question was, were there any questions regarding fare and would increasing the price, I'm sorry, could you repeat that?
Would increasing the price of an electric car help fix some of the problems there?
Gotcha. So there was actually a section of my survey that asked for if people were satisfied with the prices of the fares. And people said that it was relatively cheap and that it was fine. Increasing the fares, there was actually a lot of people saying they should not be increasing the fares. There should just be more there should just be more accountability for those who are scanning it, because I was describing this to somebody and they said it was like kind of like the tax system, because some people are paying for Orca cards and using these Orca cards, and some people are stepping on for free. So I really do think that it's a means of like accountability. Like, I think fair turnstiles would be so good for Sound Transit, because it would keep certain people off the subway and it would regulate people actually paying for it. So, yeah.
Okay, well, thank you so much.